Hello and welcome to Talk Tech. I'm Kristen White, and here with me on the show I have Anurag Mendhekar, founder of Blue Vector. So tell me about Blue Vector.
So Blue Vector is a company that's about a little over 5 years old. We started in late 2002, and we are trying to help companies automate their processes in their supply chains, particularly the pharmaceutical sector, using very innovative technology around sensor networking and distributed computing. We allow people to put in infrastructure that allows them to take care of their supply chain processes, things like keeping track of inventory, keeping track of the accuracy of how things are shipping out of their distribution centers, those kinds of things.
So how is this currently done today? So I know it's very common for companies to use RFID tracking systems for manufacturing, retail, distribution. So how are things currently done?
Yeah, so the way that things are done today is that most people rely on custom software and system integrators to come in and put a specialized solution together for their specific needs.
Okay.
What Blue Vector has done is we've taken that entire process and productized it around networking appliances. So we're able to put out a solution that's built around standard products and which can be shipped to the customer and configured to work for their specific problem.
Okay, I see. So describe a typical use case.
So a typical use case, for example, one of our customers operates a very large distribution center in South Carolina, and what they have, the problem that they have is they have a number of missed shipments that go out from the distribution center, and this usually happens because the people who are loading the trucks make a mistake and take a certain pallet to the wrong truck.
Okay.
Through the wrong door.
Sure.
So what we're doing for this customer is, we're using RFID, barcodes, photo sensors, a combination of these sensors, and essentially providing them with smart loading docks, smart dock doors as we call them,
Okay.
which detect what's going through them. And these dock doors are aware of the manifest, the shipping manifest that needs to be loaded onto the truck.
Okay.
So we're able to keep track of whether the right thing is being loaded through that door. So this allows them to reduce their road loading errors tremendously, because right at the point where the operator is making the mistake, an alarm goes off and a message appears on the LED screens.
Okay, I
telling
see.
the operator what he should be doing.
So what were they doing that caused them to do things wrong? Were they doing? Do they have a whole manual system? Or?
It is a manual system, but also there's so much volume that it's very easy to make mistakes. There's thousands of pallets and dollies sitting on the floor, so it makes have a manual process much more error prone.
I see. So your software interfaces with off-the-shelf RFID sensors?
Yeah, it interfaces with a number of different types of sensors, not just RFID, but we do barcodes, 2D barcodes, 1D barcodes, GPS, photo sensors, motion sensors,
Okay, great.
temperature, weight. We do the whole gamut.
Okay.
It is our belief that the next generation of computing is going to go towards smart structures, smart physical structures. So smart dock doors, smart conveyor belts that sort of aware of what's going on them.
Sure.
Smart shelves. The whole sort of evolution of dumb physical structures evolving into sensor-based, logically processing sort of business process elements.
So what are the different types of things that you can track then? Obviously serial number, location, and quantities.
Yeah, exactly. So we do quantities, we do location of where a thing is at. We can track the state it's in, what temperature is it being sitting at, what the history of the temperature was.
Okay.
For example, for one of our customers, we track drugs in a refrigerator, and we make sure that it's stayed at the right temperature for a while.
Right.
We make sure that the door isn't left open for too long. We make sure that it stayed at the right temperature for a certain period, So we do those kinds of things. So what the object is, where it is, what state it's in, those are the kinds of things, the kind of information that we can give our customers.
I see. So for the RFID technology, how many people are familiar with this, but they might not fully know exactly how it works. So can you describe that a little more?
Yeah, RFID is a way of essentially conveying object identity using radio frequencies.
Right.
So it works in a number of different ways. Typically what happens is there is a reader and there is an object with a tag on it. And when the reader sends out a signal to the tag saying, "Who are you?" the tag responds back with a code saying, "I'm this number."
Okay.
Right? And that essentially is the basic process of RFID. Now there's a number of different variants of it, what frequency the tags operate on, what their specific mode of transfer is, whether or not the tag has a battery, whether or not the reader is actually asking for it or is it just listening. So there's a number of different variants. But that's the basic idea.
Describe a little more about how your software interface works.
So what we do is, so our software is actually delivered through appliances. So we have a multi-tier architecture where we have right at the edge, and when I say edge, it's the physical edge where the sensors are. Right? At the edge, we have appliances called edge managers that are basically little computers that are connected to the sensors, and they're collecting information from the sensors, they're processing it, cleaning it up, they're correlating different sensors. If you see the sensor go off and then another one go off, then it means this. That type of inference those edge managers are responsible for. And what they do is they take data from an ERP system, for example a shipping manifest at the dock door, and it integrates that data into the process as it's happening. Now a typical distribution center will have hundreds of edge managers typically spread out across the distribution center. And what we have is a next level of appliance called a network manager that actually manages all of these edge managers and tells them what it should be doing, what each edge manager should be doing, because different edge managers might be doing different things. Some may be at loading docks, others may be at shelves, others may be at tagging stations, others may be at conveyor belts. So there's a lot of different activities that the edge managers end up doing. So all of that activity is managed and monitored by these network managers, sort of in a centralized fashion. So as an IT person or as a distribution center manager, I could be sitting there with a single web browser screen, on my monitor, and just looking at what's going on in my entire distribution center.
And your software is compatible with companies, their existing systems?
Their existing systems, right, exactly. So it works with their existing backend systems, so we can download data from their SAPs and their Oracle systems and integrate that all the way through our network.
So are you interested at all in targeting the consumer space? RFID for personal inventory management could be interesting.
Yeah, it absolutely would. And the thing is, Blue Vector, we look at really the sensor-based automation as being sort of the next phase of where the world is moving to, right? And those things are never confined to sort of one industry or the other. Everybody wants to get sensors into their houses. They want to monitor different things.
Definitely.
RFID is one example. You want to make sure. Like I have a little girl who wants lights to get turned on when she walks into a bathroom at night. So. Those kinds of things, they need to come out and become more easier, more accessible for consumers. Realistically, in the short term, we're much more focused on, the supply chain markets and the pharmaceutical markets. But our technology and everything that we do is really, it's very horizontal, and there's an opportunity for us to work with partners who might be interested in addressing the consumer space. We'll be happy to talk to them for sure.